Scout up.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to guard my country, to obey the Scout law, help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally straight, and morally straight.
Alex, front center.
Recently, Troop 34 in Hanson held an open house where they invited people to come in to see if the boys themselves or their parents would like them to become Scouts. And we have here with us Senior Patrol Leader Kobe Draves, who's going to help us decipher some of the things that went on during that night. Kobe, how long have you been in Scouting?
I've been in Scouting since first grade, which is, at the time was the earliest I could have been involved.
That's, as I recall, Lions?
That
Tigers?
was Tigers. That was before
Tigers,
Lions.
that's right. The Lions is one step down. Sometimes you get mixed up with all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, and you went all the way through Cub Scouts up into Arrow of Light, did you?
Yes, received my Arrow of Light.
And now what rank are you in Scouting now?
I am a Star Scout.
Star Scout, you're working towards your Eagle.
Yeah, Life and then Eagle.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And how long have you been Senior Patrol Leader?
Quite a few years now. Probably, I'd say like 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the footage that I shot the night of this open house, and you can kind of help me decipher what's going on there.
Yep.
Okay, for the first thing, we have the opening here. And can you tell me what happens during this time?
Yeah, so we call up 2 individual Scouts, and they will, in no particular predetermined fashion, we pick 2 Scouts, and they will recite the oath and the law. And then, as you can see, I just dismissed them to a table for some sort of like instruction or, whatever the topic of the meeting would be.
Right. Okay, so you always open up with the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
Yeah, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance, the Scout Oath, and the Scout Law.
Yes.
Okay, good, because that's how I learned it all those years ago, and I still remember it.
Yeah.
Just face
Now
this
this
way.
makes sense.
Keep it down. Ready, Kobe?
Grayson Draves, front center. Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Anthony, front center. Scout up.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to guard my country, to obey the Scout law, help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally straight, and morally straight.
Alex, front center. Scout law.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
All right, you guys can dismiss to the table.
Now, we've come to the next step of the meeting, which was an instructional time. This is something that you do at just about every meeting, have some kind of a small instructional time?
Yes.
Do you remember what you were talking to these boys about this time?
I believe this was an upcoming camp out, and I was talking about information, and then I had my backpack, and I was talking to them about packing, what goes where, stuff like that.
Well, things have changed considerably since I was a Scout. Things have gotten a lot tighter because, we had these big clunky mess kits that had to go in. The packs were a lot smaller then.
Yep.
If you had an official Boy Scout pack, and it was about the only way to get a knapsack in those days.
Yeah.
So, and you had a lot of things in there that I had never seen in Scouting before.
Yeah.
You want to give me an idea as to what kind of things you had in there?
Yeah, we definitely have, I feel like we have a lot more luxuries. I can't remember exactly what I pulled out. I remember it looks like I'm going for the rain cover on my backpack, which would be in the event of rain, I could pull it's like an orange, it looks almost like a fitted bed sheet, but it's waterproof and you can put it over the backpack in the event of rain, which is, usually, days of just a backpack, it would just be wet if it rained.
Yeah. Well, back in my day, they either had a poncho or nothing, so you either had the pack under your poncho, because the packs weren't so much bigger, were a lot smaller then, or you got wet.
Yep.
And if you didn't prepare, you got wet.
Yep.
Okay, and I noticed that, you had a lot of the boys answering questions about what this was and what you would be putting in there, what kind of things you wanted to put in.
Yep.
And you even included the visitors in that.
Yes.
And some of those boys, the visitors, came up with some decent answers that night.
Yeah, we had the Weebelows, which are basically they're now in the troop. The boys that I can see in this video are now in the troop. But this was, we were kind of seeing what they already knew, because they already have some experience in scouting, and kind of it's good to ask questions, see what they already know, so I'm not wasting time saying things they don't know, and kind of give them also a chance to speak and feel included as visitors.
Okay. Well, now let's watch the rest of this and see how it all turns out.
So, so we're going to go over basically what you're going to put where in a backpack, and it's also important where you place it. Why it's important. Where you put something in your backpack, why that's important to immersion practice. Hard to find you. Wait.
So you can find everything that you need?
Everything has its own little pockets, where stuff is.
You can access it quicker, like
How fast you can access it. Like in this backpack, I have a rain cover right under here. All I have to do is flip this over, and never mind, it's not accessible. It's a Velcro under right here, and there's a pocket down here for a rain cover. And I have mine, so this will go over my bag and it starts raining, and my bag won't get wet. It's right there. It has this elastic that attaches it right there. It's in a very convenient spot where I can just pull it out and it starts raining. I don't have to dig into my backpack and get it in the middle. Around all my clothes and what else to be. So placement and the style of pocket that it's in. Like I have two smaller pockets here, I have a bigger pocket here. I have a zip pocket right here. And what I have to put in here is my basket, because when it's time for lunch or time for dinner or whenever it's time to eat, you want to be able to get that basket up fast, because obviously it's time to eat and miss out on food. So it's right there all the time. I'll put my rain jacket up here so it starts raining, and put myself as well as my backpack, as well as the first aid kit. And then for more still emergency stuff, but when I run out of space in the top one, I use this pocket. So I'll put my thermal blanket in here. I put my survival kit if I have one of those. If I had a survival kit, put it in here. So it's accessible, but it's not immediately I have to do that. Any questions so far?
Absolutely. Knowing where and how you place things into a backpack can be also really good for hiking, because it will displace the weight in different parts that you best for carrying.
So think about weight distribution and how you're wearing a backpack as well. So that's part of emergency preparedness, is not becoming an emergency yourself, and knowing your gear and knowing where you're going and what you're doing. So yeah.
I think kind of add on with backpack is it has these straps, so it doesn't hurt your back while carrying the bag. It also goes along with Alex, making the weight proportional.
So emergency preparedness doesn't always have to be lethal emergency. Sorry. Could be for different things like bathroom. These are great. I love these. Everything's everywhere. They're accessible.
Every man.
I got rope in case I need to tie things, and I got a compass and a mirror.
I like both.
So, you guys end up passing that down. So this is a compass, and it's the back of it. There is an emergency mirror. So first of all, what do you guys think this mirror is for?
To look at yourself.
So I think myself. Yeah.
Like a flare or something?
Yep, if I see a plane, I can get the plane's attention by reflecting it. And also to look at myself, because I can have a cut on my face and I can feel on myself and I don't know what the cut looks like. I can have something in my eye, I need to figure out where it is in my eye. So yeah.
Mirrors are useful.
Why do you think I stack it like this though?
Because it's small and compact.
So it's easier for storage?
Yep. And what's something about this that makes me not want to put it in a backpack just like this? Yep.
So that you don't have to look and reach for it. You can just
That too, it's right there. But also, this is breakable. If I put this in my backpack and a bunch of other stuff, it's gonna break. It can snap. There's little magnifying lenses that can break. So what I do is I put it along with my emergency mirror, and this is rigid. It's not gonna bend and snap. And then I can put it in the cover meant for the emergency mirror. I have that all together as one thing. And, you know, I know this is safe. It's one little unit. It's protected. They're both flat, too, so it's using less space. They're not next to each other and stuff. So that's some of the stuff that I would carry. I don't think I have any of my other emergency items. Does anybody know who can name other emergency preparedness items that you would carry normally on camera?
An ice pack and something that keeps a thermal.
So something to do with temperature. You want to keep yourself warm or keep yourself cold, depending on when you're going camping, what environment you're going in. Because especially here in New England, you can get cold fast, and that can be a really big problem when you're out in the middle of the woods. Yep.
A knife.
A knife. Yep. Cut things, carve things. You know, fight things off if you really have to. It's a real emergency. Yep.
The emergency, like the blanket made out of the.
Yep. Yeah, space blanket, keep you nice and warm. So yeah, first aid kit in case so something doesn't become a bigger emergency, like a little scratch to get infected. So if you have a first aid kit, you can treat something before it becomes a huge emergency. And then first aid kit also does more large scale injuries depending on what you're carrying for a first aid kit. So bigger things can be dealt with when they happen. Yep.
If we're talking dangerous scenarios, you might want a pot to boil water in case you run out of water.
Yep, that's something that's more with backpacking, but yeah, you can bring mess kits or pots. You'd really be carrying a pot in your own backpack, more for backpacking because you're carrying all your stuff on you. But mess kits would also work as just a smaller version of a pot. You got a question? Alright. So yeah, we got first aid kit. We've got your mess kit, or another thing with food is not only mess kit, but some way to cook your food, not one of those big clunky propane stoves. You're not going to want to carry your dad's grill behind you while you're backpacking. So they sell backpacking stoves. I didn't bring mine today, but they're smaller. There's just a little canister with a little thing on top, and the flame comes out of it. So it's nice and compact. You can cook food. You can just melt snow in the water to drink. Plenty of different uses. I've used mine before when I was really cold. I used mine to warm up my hands and finish putting my tent so that I can, warm my hands up better. So they have a lot of good use to them. But something else with those is that's a flammable gas, or depending on what you have. With fuel for there, it will catch on fire. So you want to have that on the outside of your backpack, not only so you can reach it, but so that if something happens to it, it's on the outside of your backpack. It's not in the middle where it can catch other things on fire. You can pull it right out fast enough if you notice something's wrong. So you get your mess kit, you got your first aid kit, you get your backpacking stove, you got food items. You want to carry more food than you need. Obviously, you don't want to be like gambling with food. You want to have just enough. You'd like to have a little bit extra. You don't want to be like 2 protein bars for a whole weekend. You want to have enough food. So yeah, part of emergency preparedness is just being prepared for the task at hand, not always being prepared for all this other stuff that could happen, like being prepared to survive a hurricane or like zombie apocalypse. You want to be prepared for it getting colder or it getting warmer or it snowing. So yeah.
Well, now we've finished with the instructional period and went into a bit of recreational time before the Court of Honor, which was the crowning glory of the night that night. This game I found very interesting, but I couldn't quite figure out what the rules were. Do you want to give me a little clue into some of that?
Yeah, so this looks like 4 corners, I believe is what they're about to play.
Yeah.
So there's 4 boys in 4 different squares. The one in the square that you can see to the right is the I forget what the official term for it is. They're the person in charge, basically. They have the ball.
Yeah.
And the idea is you bounce it against your square once, and you hit it into the diagonal person across from you's square, and it hits the ground, and then they hit it. So it's almost like tennis in that sense, but it's like hand to hand, and the idea is to try and bounce it into somebody's square, and then either bounce it in their square again, or have it go out of their square so that they can't hit it.
Okay, and it doesn't matter which square you go to when you're trying to move the ball along.
Yeah, after the first serve, then yeah, you can go wherever.
Okay, that makes things a little bit clearer. It almost like some of the warm-up games the football players play with a football, but when you're warming up and they get in a circle like that.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone tonight to our slice.
And now here's the event of the night, which was the Court of Honor. Can you just tell people what a Court of Honor is?
Yeah, so a Court of Honor is when we honor specific advancements that they have made. So we have, the Scout Handbook, and you have the traditional Scout ranks, you have merit badges. There's also like different awards you can get. But it's basically, as the Scouts earn them, we'll periodically hold one to kind of present them their award and have, just some parents come and they can see what their Scout has accomplished in Scouting.
Yeah. Okay, and then there is the Grand Court of Honor, which is what you will be doing when you receive your Eagle.
Yes.
Which is a little bit more formal than this.
Yeah.
And a lot bigger deal made.
Yeah.
As I can remember back when I was a Scout, the Eagles were few and far between. And they are becoming a little bit more regularly seen these days.
Yes.
Okay, let's, we can stop here now and watch the rest of the Court of Honor and see who gets what for badges awarded to them. And then we'll come back just to kind of wrap things up.
All right.
All right, welcome everyone tonight to our Slices for Scouts event. And we're also doing a Court of Honor type thing. So I'm going to call my first scout up, Kobe. Kobe, would you come up, please? So over this past year, we've done in-house merit badge classes, online merit badge classes, and we've also went to summer camp. Kobe earned citizenship in the society, exploration, rifle shooting, and surveying. Congratulations. As Kobe is the senior patrol leader, he's going to be handing out the rest of the badges.
All right, first up is Nicholas Locke, who is in the back. We'll get to him when we get to him. Grayson Draves, front center. Grayson earned surveying, swimming, sports, first aid, forestry, game design, citizenship and society, and environmental science. Yep. We've got Alex Sargent. Alex earned citizenship and society, environmental science, personal fitness, surveying, and swimming. We've got Anthony Sargent, citizenship and society, environmental science, first aid, sports, surveying, and swimming. Last but not least, we have Nicholas Locke. Pets, search and rescue, crime prevention, digital technology, emergency prep, citizenship and society, and basketry. All right. Should I talk about where they earn their badges? So this summer, all the scouts had an opportunity to come to summer camp with us, and you take several merit badge classes throughout the week, and most of those classes usually end up with a merit badge, or you end up with a little bit less work to do. You got just some things like, for sports, you have to participate in the season of the sport. So they just have some little extra work to follow up with on their own. But it provides a good opportunity for everybody to earn some of those badges. As you can see, a couple of our scouts have their sashes on with badges they've earned in the past. It's a good way to show different skills, and it's required for rank advancement in Boy Scouts. So they kind of, there's a certain amount that you need to get to Eagle, and to Life, I believe you need merit badges for.
And Star.
And Star. So, yeah. Anything else?
No.
Does anybody have any questions?
I'm a man.
What's that? Anybody have any questions they want to ask Kobe?
How many men?
Yep.
Will we have any more of those big group meetings for the Weebles and Boy Scout, Cub Scouts?
Oh, pack meetings? Yeah, you have a few more pack meetings left before you come into the joint scouts. Okay?
Any other questions? All right. So, more Foursquare, or?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
All right. You guys want to play Foursquare?
Well, this is the end of the actual meeting here. All the badges have been awarded, and some of those guys had done some really decent work over the period of time since the last Court of Honor.
Yeah.
And they're just about ready to go into some fun stuff at the end of the meeting here. As a matter of fact, as I recall, they went back in to do Four Corners, which we get a little bit further on here. There they go. And now that we've seen this and going back to that, I just want to thank you for coming here today and helping me show the people that are watching this program what happens at Troop 34 in Hanson.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.